Good afternoon. My name is Detrick DeVer. I'm with Game Time Giving. Game Time Giving is a platform that allows nonprofit organizations to raise money at sporting events by creating a giving competition between those fans at those events. You know, I've served on several nonprofit boards, and after talking to many of them, as well as development officers, we've learned that nonprofit fundraising is difficult. So why is that? Well, because it's expensive. I don't know if you knew this or not, but it costs a typical nonprofit organization about $150 just to get a new donor. Typical age of that donor is around the age of 55 in the U.S., and they don't even break even on them for the first, say, 2 years. Now, with that said, according to the Millennial Impact Study, 75% of millennials, people between the ages of 20 and 35, 75% of those people actually give about $100 a year to charitable organizations. So, whereas nonprofit organizations are over here, fighting to raise money, their future donors, the millennials, are sitting over here virtually untouched, primarily due to cost. So how do you solve this problem? Well, actually, it's already been solved. Proven solution. You guys remember the Ice Bucket Challenge? They raised over $100 million last year. 3 million new donors. New recipe. Fun, excitement, challenge, game mechanics. And that's basically what we're doing with Game Time Giving. So here's how it works, real quick. Let's take John. He's at the Texas OU game, for example, right? And John looks up at the Jumbotron at a game stoppage. And he sees that the Texas fans, as a total, have pledged $7,180 to various charities so far during that game. Whereas the Oklahoma fans have pledged $9,450 to various charities so far during that game. And so John decides to take matters in his own hands. He pulls out his app. He makes micro pledges, $2, $3, or whatever, driving up the totals for Texas. He challenges his friends on Facebook, and he challenges his friends on Twitter, asking them to do the same thing, driving up the pledge totals for Texas. Oklahoma is also on the other side doing the same thing. So there's fundraising actually going on at the game. Now you may ask, who actually fundraises around a sporting event? Actually, it's actually a big business. For example, Pursuant Sports, one of the leading companies in this space, has a program called Plant the Flag. They sell it to Division I schools right now. Alabama launched a program over the past few seasons. The only issue is they spend $78,000 a year per season. $78,000 per season just to make this happen. Now with Game Time Giving, of course, Alabama wouldn't spend nearly $78,000 to have to work with us. More importantly, we actually target millennials, whereas their typical donor base is the same donor base that they've had previously. Now, we're going after Division I football, Texas, OU, Alabama, but actually we have an opportunity that's already sitting in our lap. We've already had 2 meetings with the Dallas Stars, and we have 1 more next week. And they've already decided to pilot Game Time Giving during their preseason home games in 2015. Yeah. Same day, we're also meeting with the Center for Nonprofit Management, which is the umbrella organization, for 700 nonprofit organizations in North Texas. This is the 3rd meeting with them also. And we've already asked them to help us get at least 70 of their members inside the app over the next few months. So we think that's pretty easy to do. So anyway, here's the plan. The plan is that, first of all, we have to be successful in our pilot. We're talking to the Frisco Rough Riders, courtesy of the Dallas Stars, to start piloting games immediately, number 1. Number 2, if that pilot is successful, then we move on with the Dallas Stars throughout the rest of the season. And you guys know that they partner with the Dallas Mavericks, and we're going after them aggressively. So we make money real simple. First of all, we commission-based, where we charge a transaction fee on all the donations that are actually collected, and then we charge a subscription or a listing fee to all the nonprofit organizations that are actually listed in our app. And just to give you an idea of how that works, let's say, for example, you were to donate $10 to a charitable organization via PayPal. Right now, that would cost you about 78 cents, where our model is right at 80 cents. So we say that our revenue projections are kind of sort of in line with what the norm is. So with that said, we believe we're going to make a huge financial impact. But we also believe we're going to make a huge social impact. We're gamifying the giving process. We're putting a little bit of fun back into fundraising. And that's how we think we're going to change the world. We're just going to do it 1 game at a time. Yeah. If there's anything I can clear up, I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, the pitch is getting better, but you gotta have, I think, again, we gotta see how this is gonna, for you, how you, show us how you're gonna build your business on this.
Absolutely.
Right, so you do a great job of how it works and the demand through the universities, through the stars, traction there.
Yes.
But we then need to see how that's going to translate into, you know, your roadmap to being a sustainable, successful business. So let's put a little bit of that in here too, right? Because that's going to obviously drive the ask you're going to make efficient.
Of course.
Is this something that the Stars would like integrate into their scoreboard?
That's exactly what they're going to do. Actually, they've agreed to do the Jumbotron. In the AAC, there's a arena ring around it, as well as if you're out waiting on, say, a hot dog or whatever, there's a scrolling display. That's what they've already agreed to do.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Is this something relevant for a rivalry game where everybody, both sides of the team are there? Or if you go to the Stars and the San Jose Sharks are there, it's 99% Stars fans?
That's a great question. Actually, our initial thought was rivalry games. For example, Texas OU. However, the Stars game was 90% Stars. We play a black and a green game. Colors. One side versus the other side. We basically create a competition. So in this room right now, we would create a right side and a left side. Left side and a right side. So that's the game.
Do you lose the emotional tie?
Excuse me?
Do you lose the emotional tie with that?
Actually, I don't think so, because here's what we're going back to. Let's go back to the Ice Bucket Challenge. The primary thing that motivates people to do this is the challenge. So that could be your brother in a push-up contest. Now you love him and you don't want to hurt him, but you want to beat him. You know, and so that's what we're capturing.
But extending it to online users actually.
Yeah, it is absolutely not required to be in the physical facility at all. However, that's what we're targeting, those people. But if you're at home and want to play, sure, knock yourself out. What's that one more?